Hey guys, it's Raul again, and today I'm sharing with you my spoiler-free review of Home is Not a Country by Safia Elhillo. A Home is Not a Country is a YA magical realism story told in verse that follows our main character Nima, who is a Muslim girl who lives with her mother. Now, her father has passed away, they have moved to the United States to kind of start up a new life for them, and Nima is has a lot of things in her mind going on, trying to feel accepted as a Muslim girl, even within the Muslim community, as she is going to Arabic classes to learn Arabic as well. She kind of struggles with kind of fitting in anywhere that she is, and this story kind of follows her journey of self-acceptance and of kind of desiring or imagining a world where if certain decisions had happened, she could have possibly lived a different life. So early on in this novel, Nima kind of learns that her mother had plans of possibly naming her Yasmin, so she kind of starts to imagine a life where this Yasmin person had actually been living her life instead of her, and she imagines kind of what her life could have been if her mother had never moved to the United States, if certain decisions in her past had never taken place to bring her to the moments where she is now. And through this kind of journey of self-discovery and self-acceptance, she begins to kind of imagine this Yasmin character taking her through this path in life and kind of showing her what her life could have possibly been if all of these other things had taken place instead. It kind of is reminiscent, or reminds me of kind of A Christmas Carol, where Scrooge is kind of being taken through Christmas past and present and future, and being kind of shown all of these different things. This is kind of similar to what's going on. Nima is kind of experiencing this alternate reality through the eyes of Yasmin, and kind of visualizing what life can be in kind of this alternate reality. Now, through this exploration of family and past and present and future, she kind of has this one grounding factor, which is her closest friend Haytham, who she really has learned to create this great friendship with. Haytham is a neighbor that lives in the same apartment building, and because he's also Muslim and they go to the same Arabic classes, they kind of create this friendship even though Haytham is a little bit older. So she kind of relies on that. I mean, she doesn't really have many friends. Haytham is kind of her one really kind of strong, firm support system throughout this story. So you really explore a lot of this friendship in there without having it necessarily be romance at all. I think that's one of the things that I enjoyed about this the most, is that you tend to in YA have a male and female protagonist, or a male and female in a story, and they eventually kind of end up falling in love, and there's some kind of romance that kind of ensues through all of this, and it's something that you don't see in this book at all. This is a good, healthy friendship, and there's really no romance or no romantic feelings toward the other person, which I really enjoyed. Most of this, or most of what's going on in Nima's head, is all geared toward family. So with a book like this being told in verse, you obviously have this beautiful lyrical writing throughout the entire thing, which I really, really enjoyed. I really enjoy novels told in verse, number one, because they read quicker, and because they tend to be able to tell this kind of complete story. You get to get into the characters' heads a lot. You get to really experience a lot of the things that the character is experiencing, and in a short amount of words, which is just amazing, the way that these authors are able to kind of create these stories in in this kind of writing style. This book was pitched to me as being geared towards fans of The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. The Poet X is absolutely one of my favorite novels ever, so when I saw that this book was being geared toward fans of The Poet X, I knew I had to read it, and it definitely did not disappoint. I feel like it has similar styles and similar themes that The Poet X has, with their main characters kind of struggling with things that have to do with family, and having family be just a central part of this story, and I really enjoy that aspect of it. But this feels completely different, as Poet X does. I mean, it tells a completely different story. There's a completely different feel to the characters and their motivations and their backgrounds and everything. I really, really enjoyed. I loved going into this book, kind of experiencing a different culture, again, different language. But when novels being told in verse, you kind of end up wanting more. I mean, I wanted this book for some reason to be longer. I wanted this kind of journey in Nima's life and in Nima's mind to kind of be longer. I wanted to see see more about the family, more about the grandmother, more about the neighbors, more about the mother, and more about Nima herself. Like, there's just, it leaves you wanting more. I mean, there is so much going on in this novel, so much that this novel packs in, that I feel like it does, like I said, a great job at telling this story, but always it leaves you wanting more. Same thing with short stories. Short stories kind of always leave you wanting a little bit more, and I feel like with this one I wanted more of the story and more of these characters, but because they were just so good. The writing was so good, the characters were so good, everything was just very emotional and very deep, and I just really, really enjoyed that aspect of this book. I honestly don't have many complaints about this book at all. I really ended up loving it. I mean, the only thing, like I mentioned before, is that I wish it was longer. I wish that we were getting deeper into the lives of these characters, because I was enjoying them so much. So if you are a fan of the Poet X or novels that are written in verse, I highly recommend you guys checking this novel out. This book is out on March 2nd. So it's the day, hopefully, that this video ends up going live. I didn't mention at the beginning, but I did end up receiving this book as an ARC from the publisher, from NetGalley, in exchange for my honest review. So I'm posting that review now. I'm hoping you guys are just going to check out this book, because I absolutely loved it. It's absolutely wonderful and beautiful. So yeah, guys, that is it for my review of Home is Not a Country. Let me know down below if you guys are going to check this out, if you guys also received ARCs and have read this one before, or have read it at the point of you guys seeing this video. I would love to know what your thoughts are. Before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe. I post videos every Tuesday and Friday. Thank you guys all again for watching, and I will see you all next time.